What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome to another episode of the iherng podcast, and today we will answer a question from email. This is from Joey. Hi Sean, my name is Joey. I really enjoy watching your videos and learning from you. I am 28, a single lady working as an executive with stable net income of 5,500 per month. I have no loan commitment as I already settled my car and I am living with my family. I don't have a house under my name yet, but sooner or later I will need to have one for my future own stay. I have 120,000 savings in FD and I have no idea on how to start my investment. I know by merely putting the money in the bank, it will not make it grow and the value will depreciate because of the low FD rates. I need your guidance on how to start my investments, but I am not a risk taker. I don't know whether I should invest in property or what other options with shorter term of commitment. Hope you can share some thoughtful ideas with us in your upcoming video. Thank you very much and stay safe. Best regards, Joey. And I really like the title to this email. It's a single lady who has no idea about investments. So thank you very much, Joey, for sending in an email. And to be very honest, definitely you are not the only ones who are just uncertain about investment as a whole. But a few things in your email really is inspiring. Number one is you have that 120,000 in terms of saving. That's incredible. So it means you actually have that mental strength to go against all the social media marketing collaterals. You can withstand peer pressure in owning stuff. So that's great. Also, you understand that by putting the money in FD indirectly, it's just slowly losing its value. Especially nowadays when they talk about the bread increasing price, eggs increasing price, broccoli increasing price, cooking oil increasing in price. Basically everything is increasing price besides our salary lah. So that's the joke. But if you come to think about it, is it true? Yes. The value of money is just shrinking across time. And weirdly enough, right, this has been the only thing our parents emphasized back then, where it's not so much about earning, it's all about saving. So the main gist of the question will be, what or how can you start learning about investment, right? The easiest one would be to first set a goal. That will roughly give you a direction or indirectly tells you the amount that you will need to have by a certain age. For example, if you want a property today, let's say you're 28, by 32, let's say you need a property. So by 32, you need a 500,000 property. Is it a sub-sale? Is it a new property? Then how much income would you need? How much monthly installment would you need? How much renovation cost would you need? If you were to buy a sub-sale one, roughly you need 120,000, which is your entire savings all together. Are you okay with that? And if it's for own stay, can you then consider this as an investment or is it really a liability? Like if you were to buy a sub-sale house that is 500,000, you pay up 120,000 just to stay and move into the house. Then you need to save all over again and pay installment every month. So technically, are you poorer or are you richer in that sense? Another example would be marriage, maybe children's education, your own vacation. What's your ultimate goal in terms of financial? A trick I use myself would be to picture my lifestyle of the state that I want to be in. For example, when I wake up, I don't have to report to anybody. If I want to work, I work. If I don't want, nobody's going to chase me for anything. Then when I go out and eat, I never need to know about the price anymore. I can just order whatever I want to eat instead of what I can afford to eat. Then I don't have to worry about my kid being a genius or he wants to pursue his professional studies overseas whatsoever. I can afford it. And I want to work because I want to, not because I need to. Yet have the resources and time to work on my relationship, my health, and my interest, which is currently watches. Every day I will get to fetch my kid to school and pick him back and listen to his stories every single day. Also to ensure all my loved ones are happy and healthy all the time as long as I can afford. So in order to sustain that lifestyle, right, you will roughly need a figure in mind, like how much more you will need. So as we discussed, we have earnings, we have savings, and we have investing. Now, working means exchanging money for time, and a lot of people do not know this, and I only realized this concept when I was in a big financial crisis. A question I asked myself is, how do you earn extra 500 a month without getting a job? Because if you were to ask anybody today, they immediately would think part-time job, to work in a cafe or a pub after office hours, do some freelancing job during the weekends. So those directly means we are actively exchanging time for money. Actually, there are other revenues such as online businesses or a YouTube channel like this, or using your existing money to work harder for you. Then in investment, there are several categories. There are certain vehicles that is very risky but it brings very high rewards. For example, crypto, then you have the stock markets, which is moderate, so it depends whether you want to go for penny stocks or you want to go for warrant or you want to go for blue chips. Then you have properties, and in properties, either you want to go for capital appreciation or you want to go for rental returns, which in other words, we call it the cash flow game. You also have robo-advisories such as Stashaway that helps you manage your money somewhat. But ultimately, after we talk about the mindset and ambitions and the types of investment, right, you will need to first understand fundamentally its effort, risk, versus return. Everyone talks about risk and return, the higher risk, the higher rate of returns. That's not entirely true, but a lot of people downplay the effort portion of this equation. Effort here means gets to understand yourself. How much can you afford to lose? What's your risk appetite? And do you find that particular asset fun or not? So again, using myself as an example, I'm quite diversified, where I'm really heavy on properties. You guys know that. Just because I really enjoy it and I really understand it inside out. Then I put maybe 5 or 10% of my wealth into stock markets only, and I buy blue chips all the time. And that's because I don't like to read financial reports. I don't like to follow up news that will affect the business and things like that. Some people find it fun, not for me. Then lately, I'm really into crypto. I'm pumping more and more money into cryptos. After spending easily 80 to 100 hours trying to understand what's the rationale behind, and you slowly understand the difference between coins, what's DeFi, what's NFT, and what's virtual land, and etc. Then I'm using robo-advisory as my FD. Also, I've gotten myself into the watch game, so I find it very fascinating to see how demand and supply play around this kind of timepieces. Is very exciting. So my advice, start small and find out. Let's say if you were to put into FD, what's the rate like today? Maybe you put in 100,000, then it's around 2.1, 2.2. In comparison to the Stashaway Simple, how much does that make sense? Then let's say if you put into stock market, if you put into Maybank stocks, with the amount of dividend and the price increase of the stocks, how much is your return? Then if you were to buy a property for investment, if the rental can cover the installment every month, if you keep it for 10 years time, then what's the return like? All this needs to be figured out yourself, unfortunately. Like I can go in individual asset classes really detailed if I want to, but it's not going to help anybody because it's not for everybody. Another thing I would suggest would be to allocate certain portion of your monthly salary now instead of full savings, right? Allocate some into learning. What happens if you put 500 bucks into Stashaway? What happens if you put 500 bucks in Bitcoin? How do you then buy Bitcoin? Do you buy via Luno or you buy via Huobi? Then if you were to look for a property, how much would you need to pay? How much financing can you get based on your salary right now? And then how do you buy stocks? Is it via a trading platform, Rakuten, Hong Leong e-broking, whatsoever? Also, this will be very helpful. Change your entire feed of social media to be more inclined to financial education. For example, you can follow a lot of personal financing KOLs or influencers such as Suyin, Suraya. Then stock markets, you got the viral guys, Mr. Money. Then properties, you got me. Of course, thank you very much for following. Then you can follow some for crypto as well. So how do you understand this massive world of investment? One little bit at a time. But personally, I've only recently just built my savings account after having my kid, right? After having the baby and after I got married. Previously, before that, I invest all of my money, literally all, because at the age you are in, what's the worst that can happen? As long as I don't really screw up in my job, I will never ever lose the job. Therefore, I leverage on that security to maximize on my learning. So I've been trading, I've been learning, I've been speaking to a lot of people how they manage their money, and I think it's a very good conversations to have along with your peers as well. Of course, again, we will need to read a lot, do a lot of homework about all nuances within the asset class itself. So before you do anything, read and study a lot. Easily 80 to 100 hours, easily. And I think that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. A lot more things to learn, but the fact that you have this awareness, it's very good already. And with that, thank you very much for watching. For those who still have any questions, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, or you can always go to the Ask Guru segment in Property Guru website. Use the hashtag AskGuruSean and I'll answer you guys as well. And with that, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.